going on, guys, and welcome back to our surviving Java world. I'm over in our woodland area trying to gather some pale oak, mainly because I can't decide what building material to do one of the buildings around here in. But today, there was a project that actually came up on our project board, but I don't think I'm going to do it today because I'm still tinkering with different ideas regarding it, and that is the actual one that popped up on the board was to make a wacky pig farm. But there's a number of different sort of ways of killing them that I want to sort of explore before committing to one, and also another way of like breeding them and sort of funneling the babies through. Just it's going to take some sort of thinking behind it to make it different compared to other traditional farms. So today we're going to be doing like bits and pieces, primarily sort of trying to organise autocrafters in different farms that would become useful. What we can do is actually leave this area after this one's done. Not leave this area, but leave this farm. I did have an issue where I did have to just fix it a second ago because one of the pistons down below double extended for no reason whatsoever. We don't want you that close to. Let's go back here. We do want to switch it off. We also need to tidy up this area because there's still so many chests and boxes everywhere. And there's the door. Now that the door is hopefully sorted, what are we working on? Yes, redstone. I want to put autocrafters in for all of the bone meal. I did spend some time turning all the bone meal we had into bone blocks and then restocking a bunch of our tree farms, because we're going to have to dismantle all of these chests in order to fit them in to this gap here. But what I can do is just show you how I forgot one of them had a bone meal. I will show you just how I'm doing one, if I can remember off the top of my head. If we do that, is that going to be? Yeah, that should be fine. So we're going to want some autocrafters, some comparators, some redstone. We've got the chests and some observers. And I think we're going to need more observers than what we've got on us. And I forgot to restock my redstone chest. So let's do this one facing out this way. We're also going to need a building block of some kind. Seems like there's some moss area, we can use some moss. Let's grab... let's use some pale moss. So we want you there. We're going to want our chest sitting in front of it. So our chests are facing this way. Do that. And then we're going to want a observer facing this way. And then also an observer facing up. Like so. And then another moss block. We are going to need some composters. Have I got any? Got my redstone. Yeah, we do. Composters. That. Gonna need some more compostable material, so luckily we're over at the moss one. Ender pearl. Up to here. I want to fill this. There we go. And then... I've got the comparator. God damn it. What a waste. Okay. So, composter goes there. Comparator goes here. Comparator here. And then redstone in the middle. With this being at full. Oh. And that is pretty much it. But I have to build this all the way along. And then basically this puts out a signal strength of 9, I do believe. No, 8. And then when this gets all the way full, it will output a signal strength of 9. changing the frequency or strength of this piece of redstone, because at the moment it's only 8. And it will send the signal from the observer into this observer, into this plus block, activating this crafter to spit into this chest. And then what we can do is do a line of chests underneath it, so that way we've got massive amounts of storage, and it will be all strictly for bone blocks rather than bone meal, so we can store massive more amounts of it compared to what we're currently doing with just these. So let me put the rest of these into place and then I'll bring you back. Alright, so that's now all in place. The only thing I'm concerned about is that if this chest gets all the way full and then this fills up, I think I'm going to have to figure out a way of manually activating these to spit out a bunch in order to get it back to being empty after clearing out the chest. So I think once this gets full, it sort of breaks this, which is the only issue. I have got designed a sort of fail-safe design, but it was way too big to fit into this gap. So that is something I'm going to need to be aware of, but what we can do is switch on this monstrosity of a farm and see if these actual things do their job. All of that beautiful moss. We're not going to be getting nearly as much bone meal until the pale moss ones have actually started filling up. But as you can see, all the stuff that drops down here is stuff going to be bone meal. So we will be getting some coming through. Just got to fill up and top up all of the other dispensers that are effectively feeding the moss farm before it reaches up to this point. Once it reaches this point, then it should be fine. I'm wondering if there's a way of determining when this sort of gets filled to lock one of these hoppers. But I don't know how. Yeah, the only other thing that can read the signal change of the redstone dust is going to be other observers, but then I guess like an observer linked to the sticky piston with a redstone block might work. That means each time this changes, it's just going to be locking the hopper. Oh, yeah, but then shouldn't it like will block the hopper, but then it will pick it back up because the signal will change again, unless that signal change is going to be too quick for it to register. Let's see how we're going with the bone mill. Sort of determine, like it's now up to this stage, and it sort of snakes its way all the way up. So once we start getting it down here, then it works its way to this level, and then it's that level, and then it will be coming into our sorting system, the auto bone block system. But the thing is, the way that it's done, even if we only had the first few chests working to make bone blocks, the bone blocks that would feed and store into these 1, 2, 3, so 12 double chests would be way more bone meal than could fit into all of this in non-block form. So it's not like the end of the world, even if it does lock up the system without a failsafe. I can sort of show you the one with the failsafe and show you how large it is. Where's a stick when you need one? Need to be careful of creepers around here as well. Have you got sticks? Oop, but we can make them. So if we go load a bone mill to bone block with locking mechanism. So that's roughly how large my one is. That's actually got the self-locking mechanism. But then it's not tileable, but it is only 2 wide. So we'd have to fit in every other chest. But as you can see, the height and the length of it is going to be a lot bigger than the gap that we've got room for in here. So I will see how I get on with this one, because this one is the sort of bog standard version that you get for the AUTOCRAFTING 3x3s. Okay, so this is now getting the bone meal coming in, and it is actually spitting it out. Getting bone blocks there, and then once these hoppers start filling up, then it will go to the third one as well. Happy days there. And we are getting the odd bit of bone meal coming into the third one already. But yeah, that is the bone meal thing, so let's move on to our next little thing that I want to do. But what I am actually going to do before going to do that, I want to go top up our redstone blocks back at base. And then I'm also going to pick up as much of this stuff over here that I know I'm not going to be using to do building with as I can to throw into our sorting system. Before I do that though, I'm going to switch this off, because if I load it and unload it while it's still running, it will break the entire freaking farm. So I'll catch you back in a bit. Okay, so location number 2, what I'm thinking of doing is putting in some crafters to craft the different blocks for our Guardian farm. So we've got the normal prismarine blocks, the sea lanterns and the prismarine bricks, but I need to try to remember how each crafting recipe is done. Just grab a stack of each of these. So that is shaped crafting, which is annoying. That one is fine, and so is that one. So this one and this one we can do in the same crafter that we was doing our bone blocks in. We can do a simpler one for both of them, but this one we are going to have to use a shaped crafting system like we have for our pistons and observers back at base. So I'm going to put the shaped one over here and then the other 2 mini ones over here. So yeah, let's quickly jump in and do that. Alright, so got these 2 done. I did realise after I was building this one that there is also dark prismarine, which is shape crafting. So provided I've done everything correct, I'm hoping it should be right. Like all of these are facing the right way. That one's powering that. Yep. So when that one gets power, has to be over. I guess the only way of figuring it out, like all of these torches are off, so if we turn this off now, do we have to turn it on then off in order to activate the first lot? You do that. Oh no, we have to power this first of all to get it started. Completely forgot about that. We've got a button anywhere. Make a button. A level will do. Keep on forgetting that you need to prime this one. Yeah, I was worried about trapdoors would be doing that. That is now, yeah, that's going to get annoying, so we're going to have to pick up this trapdoor. Then the same for this side. Here, do one of them. Do that.
Lovely jumping.
Awesome. My god. Freaking trapdoors. We break here. Do that. Hopefully that should do the trick. Just turning my phone on do not disturb. There we go. And then we've got the 2 different individual setups that we do actually need to... I'm hearing a trapdoor still being activated. I think it might be this one at the end. No? Imagine it. Okay, I'm trapdoor crazy. So we want to grab some more of the shards. And these ones are a lot simpler because there's only one craft that can happen with them. Spit out all of you guys. Throw you guys into here. And do the same for this side. Then we can just flip the lever on these. This one's doing the bricks, that one's doing the normal prismarine, this one is doing our sea lanterns, and this one over here is doing our dark prismarine. So now we've got all of them being auto-crafted. The only thing with it is that I was tempted to link these things up directly to restock these, but because these are going in shulker loaders, I really didn't want to go messing around with trying to rewire that. I've not had this machine running though whilst I've been over here. I also don't know if the Nautilus are going to be spawning in this farm or not. Or if this, like, they're prohibited from spawning inside of the ocean monuments. Hello, Guardians. Everyone swim down. Dion are very friendly with the roses. But yeah, I think the main one would have been annoying is this one. Like, because we threw in like pretty much two shulkers per each resource, it should mean that we should end up with like a double chest worth of sea lanterns after this thing's finished running. And then the same thing for this as well. We should end up with like a double chest of dark prismarine. Don't know how much one shulker of prismarine shards is going to get us. 3 stacks, I'm assuming. Which isn't a lot. When you're making bricks with the prismarine shards, it doesn't go far, does it? Because it's 9 stacks to make 1 stack of prismarine bricks. Wow. Yeah, that's not a great exchange ratio. Let's grab another couple of these. I may just link it up so we can just throw the shulker boxes on here, which may be a better idea. Yeah, let's do that. Let's grab some more hoppers. Let's do this. This. That. And that. And we can restock our... what is it? Shulker loaders with these guys. There you go. You come here. You can go. I am going to have to go back to base and restock our redstone supplies yet again, twice in one episode, because severely low on hoppers. I need to make more crafters, because they've run out in my auto filler thing. Repeaters, yeah, comparators, redstone dust, all of that is like retopping back up. Let's throw these random bits and pieces back into this box. Sorry about that quick interruption. I'm going to leave a bot over here just to let these run through, so that way we end up with a bunch of sea lanterns, as well as dark prismarine, normal prismarine, and our prismarine bricks. Let's throw you, can just go into here. What we really want to do is just pick this guy up and the other one, and throw down a couple more shulkers. 3, 4. Dude, come on. happy days. Let me pick up all of our bits and pieces, and then I'm going to have to desperately go and restock, including that one as well. And I will meet you back at base. I'm pretty sure we are running low on time. I did not want you low on time though, so I'm not too sure what else we may be able to get done in today's episode. And you can go over here. Okay, catch you back at base. Home sweet home. So I did pick up a shulker's worth of ominous potions, because we may tinker around with one of the trial chambers next episode, depending on if I've come up with an idea for the pig farm. There's also a couple of different things that I want to do, that I want to add on to our project board that I've sort of been lacking on. Let's grab you, and we're going to need an anvil from somewhere. So one is going to be the Roman dockyard over where our iron farm is. Because I've built it like halfway out into the sea, I need to sort of level out the terrain around the Colosseum and then add like a Roman inspired sort of dockyard just to sort of tidy that area up a bit. There's also another one which, what block can I use for it though? Let's see. You know what, let's use one of these saplings. And that is the shell for multi-tree farm. And that's for the western area, because our multi-tree farm still has not got a shell one. I was sort of considering getting that done today, but then I sort of decided against it, because I wanted to put the auto-crafters into different places. What can we get rid of though? I don't want to get rid of the negative modifiers. What have we got a lot of that we don't really need a lot of? Oh, this one, Clowd added. That is the auto farm that farms everything. I wouldn't even know where to begin with that one. So that can go off of the board for the time being. And then we can get rid of... I want to keep the ancient city projects on there just because we're getting close to completing that area. Chorus smelting. New concept shulker farm. Vine farm. Oh my god. It is farmable, but that one's gonna suck. New improved copper farm. Let's get rid of one of these guys. We've got a few of them on the board. Let's put that on there. We can put that back once we start clearing more off of the board. But yeah, next episode I will try to think of a concept. It is over here now in our chosen projects item frame. So Wacky Pig Farm is what the plan is for the next episode. But I will see what concepts and ideas I come up with in between now and then. Let's top up on gold and carrots. This is when I went out taming the Nautiluses and whatnot. Also, all of my tools are in here. This stuff can be thrown into the sorter because we don't need it on us. Oh, and before I forget, I need to put all of my shulkers into their reloaders. So, I know that dye needs to be done. The util box as well as our redstone box. So, redstone goes into there, UR util goes into there, and our dye into there. The auto crafters is the thing I'm going to have to manually make, so I don't think I've got it here. Yeah, so I'm going to have to manually make the auto crafters to top them up, because we haven't actually got them there, but I'll do that after. After I say goodbye, because otherwise this episode's going to go on way too long. But yeah, we've done some bits and pieces, got the auto crafters for auto making the bone blocks, and auto crafters fitted into our guardian farm area for the lanterns, bricks, prismarine, and dark prismarine. So happy days there, should we ever need them as a building material. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.